So last night, everybody's live stream was messing up because of YouTube, and I'm guessing there's still problems today. So I'm trying my best to work around why YouTube is having streaming problems. Last night, I couldn't even catch the Marfugel show because he could not stream. So, as I said, I had to start the show all over because of that. So, enjoy my new intro while I switch scenes.
This is not a test.
All right, let's try this again. Give me one. All right, so tonight's show is going to be about how how truthers or conspiracy theorists are under attack. Their YouTube has changed their algorithm in order to not recommend truther videos or conspiracy videos. The mainstream media has been reporting on how the cause of fake news is because of truthers, and mainly because of YouTube and what is being posted on there. So our freedom of speech is actually being attacked, and that's been coming for a long time. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist or a truther to know that. We're all being attacked, but especially conspiracy theorists and truthers are all being attacked. And as I said, YouTube changed their algorithm. The mainstream media has been reporting on this, and then now doctors, a psychologist from Kent University and Stratfordshire University in England did some research on conspiracy theorists, and in 2017, I tried to get some information from them. They wouldn't give it to me, and they said that research is private, which means that the research itself is probably privately funded, more than likely. The head researcher of the program, his name is Dr. Daniel Jolly. He is a lecturer of psychology. So so as you know, he just lectures people in psychology. He graduated in 2015. So he's had all of 3 years of real world experience. I'll show you who he is. That's this little fella right here. That is on your right hand side of your screen. That is Dr. Daniel Jolly. He cannot for the life of him grow a mustache, which he's trying to do. If you can't grow a mustache, you can't grow a mustache. Don't try. So anyway, he looks about 10 years old. And it says that he is on the British Board of Psychology after actually he's been employed with this place for maybe a year and a half or so. So his expertise is psychology of conspiracy theories. He was on a show, on a TV show, Adam Ruins Everything. I actually don't think he was on the show. I think he was actually on a podcast. Not that Adam Ruins Everything does have a podcast, and he was on the podcast. He wasn't on the TV show. I don't think. I didn't look into that because this guy has really pissed me off. And I don't like him. And I know everybody's opinion differs, and that's fine. But you don't attack truthers in a way that he did. The research question, or the research what he came out with, is totally has nothing to do with conspiracy theorists or truthers. Absolutely nothing. So how he came out with his finding, how the findings came out, and how he got those findings, and how he got that question or answered that question is beyond me, because conspiracy theorists have nothing to do with anything but conspiracy theories. So this is the article about his research. It came out. It actually came out February 26th. It says 27th here, but it actually came out the 26th. It's been rolling around the internet. It's been published in about 10 different online media outlets. The New York Post. So it says, conspiracy theorists are more likely to be criminals and to approve of other forms of antisocial behavior. Study reveals for the first time. Below that, it says believers in conspiracy theories are more likely to find petty crime acceptable. New study by psychologists from University of Kent and Stratfordshire found subscribers, I want you to remember that, subscribers, are more inclined to be involved in antisocial and unethical acts. Now, I asked you to remember that word, subscribers. This research gives no mention of YouTube whatsoever. It gives no mention of videos. It gives no mention of how conspiracy theories get their information or post their information, or where they get their information, how they get it, where they get it, all that. So that word subscribers was intentionally put in there so that you would go straight to YouTube. Nobody else has subscribers. No other platform has subscribers but YouTube. That's it. So that's why that word is in there. It was intentionally put in there on purpose. That right there is an attack on truthers that are on YouTube and create and share their opinions and facts. And I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to facts about all this. So, as I said, I try to get a hold of the university, privately funded paid research. I cannot access that research or the materials, the control groups, the focus group, none of that. It says, those who subscribe to outrageous conspiracy theories are more likely to commit low-level crime, a new study has found. Now, that's the question. That is the question that pissed me off. And it should piss off every conspiracy theorist or every truther. It's trying to insinuate that anyone who believes in conspiracy theories are criminals. Why that has anything to do with what the government is doing or what a company is doing illegally, or what if the government experimented on soldiers in the 1970s or not, I have no idea. So that in itself is a deliberate question. That question has nothing to do with crime, has nothing to do with conspiracy theories. Absolutely nothing, because crime is not committed while talking about conspiracy theories or believing in conspiracy theories at all. So why it matters about crime and conspiracy theories, I have no clue. Don't have a clue. That's like saying astronauts are more likely to be shopping addicts, or people who ride lawnmowers are more likely to be pedophiles. I mean, one does not have anything to do with the other 100%. That was also done on purpose, as there is no link whatsoever. Or that question, the question is, I don't even see how they came up with that question. What were conspiracy theories? Were people committing crimes in the name of conspiracy theories? Is that what they were doing? I've never heard of that whatsoever in my life. I've never heard of anybody committing a crime in the name of a conspiracy theory. That's like a question you would ask somebody, like, I can't even figure it out on my own. I can't figure it out myself. The only way I can understand this is that this is a direct attack on them, and on truthers, and this is the only thing that they could come up with, and you can't. This question doesn't even go along with conspiracy theories itself. Now, if it said something like truthers or conspiracy theorists are more likely to have mental issues or PTSD or something like that, then yeah, I could completely understand that. I could see how they would go for that. But crime, that's a reach. I mean, that's so far of a reach that you cheated. like if you were in a contest to see who has the longest arms, and you knew you had the shortest arms to reach the object, you knew the only way for you to win was to cheat. Well, that's what this is. That's, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, that's the most outrageous thing I've ever heard in my life. And the messed up thing is that it's now printed and it's now in the news media. And what happens when millennials or the majority of people in the United States, which are, between 20 and 30 years old, they read everything they believe, or everything they read they believe, and whether they have facts or not behind it, they believe it based on the feeling, based on what they feel. And that's just retarded. And so this is going to get worse because it's in print. So I'm actually going to start an app, and it's actually going to be nothing but news media information that is for conspiracy theorists or truthers or preppers. I started working on it last night, and so yes, there will be a Disclosure TV app. So let me finish back into this. It says belief in such ideas like the theory that Princess Diana was murdered by a British establishment has often been associated with negative outcomes such as political disengagement, prejudice, and environmental inaction. Yeah. So people who think that Princess Diana was murdered, you steal shit. That's what you do. That's what they're saying. You steal shit. And now psychologists from the universities of Kent and Staffordshire suggest it can also make people more inclined to be involved in antisocial and unethical acts. How could they ever know that? What links? What happened? Usually, when a research is done, or when a hypothesis first comes about, or is questioned, or something has to happen in order for that question to be asked. So what happened? And that's another part of what I'm talking about. What happened to have this link right here? What happened with conspiracy theorists or truthers? What happened to make a researcher think, or to ask the question, are truthers or conspiracy theorists more likely to commit a crime? And you know what it says? Actually, it says that the research proved that they're more likely to commit a crime in the future. There's no way to even know that. There's no way to know that answer. Whatsoever, there's no way. How are you going to know if somebody is going to commit a crime in the future? That shit's ridiculous. So it says, again, that word subscribe comes up a lot. It says these actions include petty crimes such as trying to claim. Now this is where you get even a farther reach. These actions include petty crimes such as trying to claim for replacement items, refunds, or compensations from a shop when they are not entitled to do so. What they're saying is people who are conspiracy theorists tend to try to get refunds on items that they're not entitled to get refunds on. That's their example. Meaning, conspiracy theorists go to Walmart and try to get refunds on deodorant that they're not entitled to. Or taking half-used a shampoo bottle back and trying to get a refund on it, saying it don't work, and you're screwing over the business and you're committing a crime. Like, really? That's your example. So how much of a further reach is that? So this little old dude with the short arms is cheating 3 times. First of all, the wording in this is horrible. First of all, that's a stretch, a far stretch, a huge stretch. And he cheated on that one. This one goes way past that one, saying that conspiracy theorists take things back to a shop to get refunds on them that they are not entitled to. Seriously? Like, what's that have to do with anything? What's that have to do with a conspiracy theory? What does crime have to do with conspiracy theory? A second study showed that those who were exposed to conspiracy theories during their experiment were immediately more accepting of low-level crime. It's not Antifa. It's not Black Lives Matter. It's not the KKK. It's not people against Trump. None of those people are studied to show that they commit crime or go out into the streets and riot and become violent. They're saying that conspiracy theorists and truthers are bad people. They're trying to say that what that is, that's an attack on credibility. That's an attack on who we are. That's a far stretch. I mean, if anybody is listening to this, and if you do listen to this, and you say that you see a connection between low-level crime and conspiracy theories, then you can just get the fuck off this channel. I'm dead serious. Because you're no better than the person who wrote this damn thing. Dr. Daniel Jolly should never step foot in the United States. Ever. You know, the fact that I said, yes, his opinion matters, just like everybody's opinion matters. But when you make up things, which is clearly, this is a made-up study. It is clearly made up. It is clearly 100% false. Clearly. I'm amazed that I can't even think of why a school, a university would even fund the research on this at all. I couldn't think of a reason why they would. Could anybody tell me why anybody would want to fund research? Would you fund a research project in order to see if conspiracy theories or truthers on YouTube were more likely to commit crimes, petty crime? Would you? There are so few of us that it wouldn't even make sense to do it. You know, they were immediately more accepting of low-level crime. And I still ask, what does crime have to do with trying to prove that the government is doing something to the people that they're not supposed to be doing? What does our opinions about something that somebody doesn't want to admit have anything to do with crime? It doesn't. It absolutely does not have not one thing, not even 1%. That's like, you know how when you you question somebody and let me just do it to you, to you all. Okay, my first question is going to be, why do you like conspiracy theories? Or why do you think the Apollo moon landing was staged? Why do you think the CIA killed JFK? Why do you think Barack Obama was not a natural-born citizen? Do you have any facts to back any of that up? Oh, by the way, do you feel the need to commit crime, or do you feel the need to take something back to the store in order to get a refund on it when you're not entitled to it? Oh, by the way, is this your first time hearing about a conspiracy theory? Would you think it would be okay if I took something back to Walmart and I wasn't entitled to, and to get the money back on it so I can have some money? Are you kidding me? That's exactly how that is. Exactly how that is. I mean, this is clearly an attack, and the guy who done it, he's a young little punk kid, and he's no better of a human being than the mainstream media or the YouTube. He's no better than the government. He's no better. And, what I don't understand is what's going on. So, there's how do you find a study to figure out whether a crime is committed by conspiracy theorists? When we do nothing but work with facts or opinions or ideas, It's not like we get together and create groups to go rob people. And, you know, I'm smart. I'm not trying to be egotistical, but I'm smart as hell, and I can read people. I'm good at reading people. I'm good at telling when somebody can lie. You know, when somebody's lying. I'm good at telling when somebody's bullshitting me. I was raised half of my life in the country, and the other half I was raised on the street. Half, you know, so I have the best of both worlds. And if you think I can't read you or tell when you're lying, you're crazy. I read this, and you know, and I've thought about this for hours and hours of how they could even come up with the question that, you know, the question. How do they even come up with the question, or how do the two correlate, or how do they relate to conspiracy theories whatsoever? Do you know how much of a pinpoint, specific, very, very, very specific question that is? Like that, you would have less than if you are a truther or a conspiracy theorist, you would actually have less than a 1% chance of being asked that question. If at all, if you were asked that at all. You know, you wouldn't even be asked that. Not even in research. Not even in research. Not even in an average research setting would that question even be a viable question to ask? That's how I know that this is a bullshit planted story. The guy they got to do this is more or less a little kid. He's a millennial, and he feels, and I'm going to get to that part too. I'm going to get to the part to where theoretical physicist and theoretical astrophysicist spend their whole life chasing information that they don't know is true. You know, they spend their whole careers chasing it. The only difference between a conspiracy theorist or a truther is that we don't have a plaque on the wall that says we went to school to be able to talk about any of this. And that's basically what he's saying. He's saying he actually states he is an expertise in psychology of conspiracy theories. An expert in conspiracy theories. He's not an expert in conspiracy theories because he does the opposite of what conspiracy theories are. The opposite. He's in psychology of anti-conspiracy theories. It says, my research interest is exploring the psychology of conspiracy theories. I'm particularly interested in using experimental methods to examine the social consequences of exposure to conspiracy theories. Evidently, you're going to commit a crime. If you believe that George Bush shot JFK, you're going to commit a crime in the future. That's what he says. you, you, you know, it's like, you know, if you were to compare a truther or a theoretical scientist of any subject matter, of any genre, we're all exactly the same. We're all chasing theories. So what makes us any different? Why? What makes us any different than a theoretical physicist? The Big Bang, for instance. In school, we have been taught about the Big Bang. We've been taught that the Big Bang Theory is fact. We are being taught that as fact, as it did happen. Are we not? Now, that is a theory. Now, they have enough evidence to prove, borderline evidence, mind you, to prove that that may have happened. Now, what happens when people start finding odd things with something that happened, like JFK, 9/11, Sandy Hook, the deep state? You know, the deep state is trying to destroy Donald Trump's presidency. Conspiracy theorists didn't bring that up. The deep state themselves stated that's who they were in a Washington Washington Post article. They said they were the deep state. We didn't say that. No conspiracy theorist said that. They claimed they were the deep state in an op-ed to the Washington Post. That right there is misinformation. That right there is misinformation. President Barack Obama was not a natural-born citizen. Conspiracy theorists didn't bring that up. Donald Trump did. You know, that's another misinformation. Not very many people talk about conspiracy theorists could care less about whether Barack Obama had was a natural born citizen or not. Truthers don't care about that. Truthers care about whatever is going to affect them as a citizen, or their freedoms or their rights, if they see something going on. Now, back to what I was saying about the Big Bang Theory, you have all these, in a sense, they are themselves conspiracy theorists. They were not conspiracy, but they are theorists. They can do nothing more than try their whole lives to prove that something, or try to prove facts and gather facts. That's what conspiracy theorists do. They gather enough facts that are borderline or a little, that they can gather enough facts that something could be considered fact. If you gather enough evidence that 9/11 was a conspiracy theory, was a conspiracy, if there's enough evidence pointing to that it could have been a conspiracy, I mean, who else is to doubt that? You don't see people attacking the Big Bang Theory. I mean, come on. There's theorists Theory is what gets you evidence. Theory is what starts you on a path of research. And that's exactly what conspiracy theorists do. They see something that's not right, they call it out, they want to find out more. That's what happens. They find out more, they keep finding out more, they keep investigating. And when they keep investigating, they find enough evidence that something may have happened. That something else, that what somebody else is saying may not be what's true. That's exactly what happens. How many, how many conspiracy theories over the years have been proven true? And he doesn't talk about any of that. He doesn't talk about conspiracy theories in this research per se, or this is attacking an individual. This is attacking the person. This is attacking the individual person. Who they are as a person. They're saying that you are a criminal and you shouldn't be trusted. And since you are more likely to commit a crime, why is anybody listening to you? Now, if you add that to why they even asked that question in the first place, like I said, there's a less than 1% chance as to why that question would even come up in research. Along with subscribers. That word was put in there on purpose. That's a hint. That's a hint at YouTube right there. Along with all this criminal activity crap. Along with this being a paid study. No college would ever fund a study like this on their own. Nobody cares. To ask a question on whether conspiracy theorists themselves as a person commits crimes, what does that have anything to do with anything? What does that have to do with opinions? All they're trying to do is say, why would you believe somebody that commits crimes? That's the government's go-to thing. That's exactly what they go to. Why would you believe somebody that does bad stuff? You know, I'm going to write an op-ed myself, and I'm going to send it to the Daily Mail. I'm going to send it to the New York Post. I'm going to send it to every article or every medium that they posted this in, and countering it. And I want you all to do the same. I'll give you the information to this. It's not the media, but I'm going to give you the information to the university and mail letters. Yes, I'm telling you to do that, because this is an attack on individual persons. Is exactly what that is. Excuse me. My belt is hurting me. So that's an attack on individual persons with crime that has, with a topic that has nothing to do with whether somebody killed JFK or not. So let me go back to this. Professor Karen Douglas of Kent School of Psychology said people who believe in conspiracy theories, such as the theory that Princess Diana was murdered by the British establishment, are more likely to accept or engage in everyday criminal activity. Now, there were 4 doctors, a total of 4 four psychologists, I assume, yeah, four psychologists that wanted to do this, that did this. In the first, the researchers asked 253 participants what their attitudes towards conspiracy theories were, including British government duping the public on issues of national security. These were these same participants were then asked how acceptable they considered small crime. Now, how do these two things come together? That's what I want to know. You know, and you know what? I'm going to ask my wife to join us, actually. She has more book smarts than I do. She's been to college. So, you know what? I'm going to ask her herself how you would get these two, how you would get this question from this. Come over here. Yeah. So, read that. How would you get that question from that?
They were trying to do purposely this conclusion, so they based the around.
What percentage of chance in a conversation do you think would come out of out of the topic of conspiracy theory? What would be the percentage of chance of somebody asking a conspiracy theorist or a truther on whether they would commit crime or not?
That the solution, the wanted conclusion form the hypothesis, not the hypothesis.
True.
Conclusion.
So basically,
I
you're
think
saying
they found people with background.
Now, just to let you know, my wife is a full-blown Democrat. We don't get along when it comes to politics. We don't get along on that aspect. We don't even get along on conspiracy theories. She don't even believe in conspiracy theories. But that right there, how they got the correlation between the two, one has nothing to do with the other.
I think they found.
And
They found people probably background, or asked them, or they started the study with, how do you feel about low-level crime? They found the people who said it's okay, and then asked them about conspiracy theories, where if they were including the British government duping the public, they already know they've been duped. So, of course, if they're considering that a theory.
So, what would being duped by the British, in this sense, being duped by the British government, what would believing in being duped by the British government have anything to do with whether you committed a crime or not?
It wouldn't.
Exactly. Absolutely nothing.
What I'm saying is, I think they probably found people with background, or people who accepted the petty crime, or whatever they're saying. They considered it small crime. And then asked them about conspiracies. And if there's already something going on to where think, okay, my government's duping me, but we consider that a conspiracy, well then, it turns out I do believe in conspiracy theories, and I didn't even know.
Okay.
And then they
So they made it. They basically made it up.
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted their conclusion and built their study around the conclusion.
Exactly.
They built their hypothesis around the conclusion they already wanted.
Now, in the second study, 120 people were asked the same questions about crime, but 50% of the participants were given an article about a conspiracy theory to read during the experiment. The results showed, now they just read an article. That was it. Mm-hmm. The results showed that those who read the article had a stronger inclination to engage in petty crime than those who didn't.
What was the article? Say?
What? When I'm talking about conspiracies to you, does it make you want to go out and commit a crime?
No. So it makes me think that what they had the people read had something to do with probably the government duping them, and you would have to commit this low-level crime to outdo your government. Okay, would you do that? And then if they answered yes, they considered
it doesn't say that they did that.
I know it doesn't say what they read. That's the problem.
And conspiracy theory,
because it got them thinking about it. Whatever they were reading got them thinking about it. And they did that purposely.
Well, conspiracy theory has nothing to do with
it doesn't.
Crime.
That's what I'm saying. They had them. They had them read that, but that shows that they wanted the conclusion they came up with.
Yes. And it just so happens that the study was a paid study. No, a paid.
Oh, paid.
Paid. So anyway, back to.
Maybe you get more agree with. That doesn't.
It doesn't say who.
They're not going to release the study. They're not going to release any parts of it.
Well, it just so happened.
Paid studies are jokes anyway.
It just so happened that they released.
They're biased.
They published the study around the same time that YouTube started stating that they were going to stop recommending conspiracy theorist videos. And then the government started, and the mainstream media started saying that conspiracy theories are the reason why people don't believe the mainstream media. So then this article came out from
paid study. I mean, if they're not going to release anything and it was paid, it's not a viable study anyway. I mean, just because you work at a university and did a study doesn't mean the study's correct or could even be produced. Any study that actually means anything would be
it says
there's a program that all the universities share where they publish their studies that had.
Well, this one was published in the British Journal of Psychology. Okay, so now it says Dr. Dan Jolly of Stratfordshire University said people believing in conspiracy theories are more likely to be accepting of everyday crime, while exposure to theories increases a feeling of anomie, which in turn predicts increased future everyday crime intentions.
And see, they can't say that based on they made them read an article about a conspiracy because it doesn't say what the article was.
Well, and they have no data, they have no background, they have absolutely, it's an article, they have absolutely no other proof.
Easily.
Yeah, but it's refutable. The study's refutable. However, as soon as it gets to print in the media, then it becomes a problem. Yeah. Then people believe it. People will believe the study. And as I said, and the reason I asked her was because she doesn't believe in conspiracy theories, for one, and she is on the same line of people who would more than likely read something like this and say, yeah, maybe. But as she read it, it just doesn't make sense. The whole research has nothing to do from one end to the other. It has nothing to do with anything. I mean, how are you going to tell somebody, you know, just like I said, the article itself, they gave articles to people to read. Well, you know, that's an article. Conspiracy theorists do not read an article and then automatically believe that something happened. That's not how they work. That's not how that works at all. Secondly, how are you going to prove that, as he says, it predicts increased future everyday crime intentions? How is reading an article, one article, on a conspiracy theory going to make someone or predict future crime? It can't. It's impossible. You cannot predict future crime. There's a nonfiction movie about crime prediction with Tom Cruise in it. It's fake. This whole study is bullshit and it's fake, and this is no more than an attack at the same time that YouTube started bringing out its algorithm, at the same time the mainstream... It's published by the Daily Mail, the New York Post. It's published by the New York Post. It's been published all over the place. About 20 different... It's been published in 20 different places. You know, this research study has no basis of fact. It has no facts. But it doesn't matter, because the article coming out is eventually going to try to, with how people are, the damage is being done right now. By this article being out in the first place is damaging. You know, if I write an opinion and send it to the Daily Mail or the New York Post or any of the other 15 or 20 that they publish this in, and attacking their conclusion and use my own and use facts, you know, they would have to actually, they would probably retract the whole story. Their research is not a basis of fact, for one. One has no correlation between the other. As they say, it correlates, you know, one to the other. And as I said, subscribing. There's that word again, subscribing. Why use the word subscribing? Why use that word? Why use that particular word? It demonstrates that people subscribing to the view that others have conspired might be more inclined toward unethical actions. It didn't say it could have said it demonstrates that people reading or talking or any other word besides subscribing but they had to use subscribing. Because that's a deliberate attack on YouTube. That's a deliberate attack by Dr. Dan Jolly, who is nothing more than a little kid. I'm almost 40 years old. You know, I'm almost 40 years old. And basically, he's saying You need to believe what the mainstream media is saying and not what somebody subscribing to YouTube just is saying. You know, that's what he's saying. That's why you've seen subscribing. Let's see. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times subscribers. Subscribers, subscribe, subscribing. They use that word subscribe on purpose. Now, this one, over the course of 3 online-based studies, researchers at the that's what I thought. It's an online-based study. Over the course of 3 online-based studies, researchers at the University of Kent showed strong links between the belief in conspiracy theories and certain psychological traits. Now, I went to the page that Dr. Dan Jolly linked for the research. You get a big old error 404. Page doesn't exist. Everything links back to the next. Now, the results show that people who rated highly on the narcissism scale and who had low self-esteem were more likely to be conspiracy believers. I don't know what to say to that. I do not have low self-esteem, and I'm not narcissistic. But it hints, and see, that's belief. You know, we don't base, they're basing it on a belief, as in an emotion. We don't base our what we believe on emotion. We base what we believe about what's going on facts that we uncover, on facts that we develop. The desire to maintain a positive self-image. So, people who believe in conspiracy theories have a desire to maintain a positive self-image. How does believing in a conspiracy theory, something that's no different than believing in or having an opinion about a movie, or having an opinion about which direction your yard should be mowed, or an opinion about anything minute. Why would people have a desire to maintain a positive self-image by using conspiracy theories? That's not true at all. People just want to talk about them. That's it. Just like people want to talk about other things. Just because, you got the guy that wants to talk about his girlfriend all the time because how bad she's treating him. You got the guy who wants to talk about work all the time because how bad work's going. No matter how many times you tell him, hey, break up with their girlfriend. Hey, why don't you get a new job? They still complain. So do they have a desire to maintain a positive self-image? you know, researchers who actually do research would be pissed off or disgusted at how this guy conducted an online research. And just as you heard from my wife, they asked the question and then built it. That's the only way they could have, because there's no way to get that answer, the answer they did, out of conspiracy theories, out of a conspiracy theorist. There's no way to, there's actually no way to connect crime and conspiracy theorists or truthers. There's actually no way. There's in no conversation would that even come up. Dr. Dan Jolly is nothing more than a paid guinea pig, or he himself is nothing more than just somebody who just took money in order to say, hey, I need you to say something. They do that. They do research. They do paid research studies, and build the research around what they want in order to tell people that this is wrong and you shouldn't be doing it. Just like people say mayonnaise is bad for you, and then 4 years later another doctor will come out and say, oh, mayonnaise is good for you, or that tub of lard's bad. Oh, no, it's not. 10 years later, lard's been found to link between good skin and, you know. I want to show you his YouTube page. He has a YouTube page talking about conspiracy theories. This is a thrown together conspiracy theory page. 3 months ago, 7 subscribers. He hasn't maintained it. He hasn't done anything. It's only one video, 5 minutes long. That's it. They made a research. They done an online research through people they don't know. Probably they never, they never met them. They never interviewed them individually or face to face. I don't know how many people in the world would read an article and then say, hey, I want to go commit a crime. And then say, hey, I think by reading this article, I may be able to predict future crime out of this person. Are you kidding me? Do you know how stupid that sounds? Do you know how stupid that saying that you can predict crime by somebody who is exposed to conspiracy theories? Do you know? You can't do, that's impossible. This shit is ridiculous. He's created nothing more than did an online research project and then turned around and made, and it's no more than what people do to make fake shit, even people who do fake stuff or make a fake YouTube video or claim they are this person and they work for the government and they have this and that information, and then they turn around and create a website stating that this, that, and other. And once it's in print, people start believing it. That's the problem. That is the problem. So maybe, just maybe, conspiracy theorists should start printing. That's the reason why I suggest that, or suggested to myself that I should make an app about updated information on new information or new data on certain conspiracy theories, new news on conspiracy theories. You know, there's no, if you were to do the math, if you were to honestly do the math to figure out if the question or the correlation between crime or future crime or crime versus people who believe in conspiracy theories, I mean, you're looking at 1 in 500,000, probably more than that. 1 in 1 million. Less than 1% of less than 1% of a chance. Less than 0.5% chance, stating that even asking the question, well, do you as conspiracy theory, do you believe in, have you committed crimes? What's that got to do with believing that the government done something? What's that got to believe in? What's that got to do with anything? If there's evidence proving that it may have happened, what's proving? Conspiracy theories are nothing more than people trying to put together data and information. That's it. I could do the same exact thing to Dr. Daniel Jolly here and create research saying that there's a link between lectures of psychology have more of a tendency to create false work just so they can be known. And I'm sure that's what he did. Dr. Dan Jolly was on a podcast for Adam Ruins Everything. On a podcast. If the guy had used the mental aspect of conspiracy theorists, what was the mental aspect of all this, that would be totally different. What are the that would be a question. That would be the top question that a researcher would have. What's the I can't even think of another question. Conspiracy theorists or truthers are they're the same thing as a theoretical physicist or any other theoretical science subject. They're the same people without degrees. They're trying to prove something they're trying to prove something that takes a long time to find, and I wonder how many conspiracy theories that have been out have actually been proven. There was a conspiracy theory that the government were doing mind control tests. Oh, what? There was. Oh, was that proven correct? Yeah, I believe it was. This guy is full of shit. And yes, I'm going to talk bad about him because he did nothing more than he attacked individual people with his research. Not individual people by name, but he attacked who they are as a person. That's exactly what he did. You know, he went past the point of the actual medicine behind it. He went past that point. You know, it'd be different if he was if he was if he went to a prison and said, "Hey, what about conspiracy theories? What do you think about them?" And did conspiracy theories lead you to commit this crime? How many people can say a conspiracy theory led them to commit a crime, actually? Like, really? How many conspiracy theorists was led to commit a crime? And then how do you turn around and say, you know, just say it does happen. Just say, there's less than a 1% chance of a conspiracy theorist or a truther going out and committing a crime in the name of a conspiracy, or even committing a crime. I mean, it's so far off, it's black and white. One does not correlate to the other. And how he says it does, I have no idea, because nobody can get the research. All he did was wrote an article in a piece in the media, stuck it in the media for everybody to view, and the damage is going to be done. So we need, as truthers, we need to band together and make sure that it doesn't go past this point. You know, he attacked every one of you individually, saying that truthers or conspiracy theorists are going to commit crimes, are more likely to commit crimes, are bad people, essentially. There's a good chance that they'll commit crimes in the future, and he can predict that. That guy right there can. I'd actually like to see that. I'd actually like to see him predict crime. Not only that, he's using YouTube. He's purposely using the word subscribe to direct people to YouTube, to make people think of YouTube. That's exactly what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. He used the word subscribe on purpose. You know, what if most conspiracy theorists get their information from articles? Most people get their data and do their own research and their own investigation. They get it by sources. It just pisses me off so badly that it's a deliberate attempt. And it is. It's a deliberate personal attempt and a deliberate personal attack. And it's horrible. The doctors who were part of this they're not good people. I'm gonna show you the rest of the people who did this study, or I'm gonna name them out. Now, I'm not telling you to go. I'm not telling you to go. The guy lives in Europe, in England, so don't go travel to freaking England. I'm not telling you to do that, nothing like that. But what I am telling you to do is give him your opinion. That's what I'm telling you to do. That's exactly what I'm telling you to do. All you truther investigators, investigate. That's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to investigate. I'm asking you to prove to him and make him look horrible. He's trying to make you look horrible. Make him look horrible. Make him look horrible. Make the doctors who were part of this look horrible. Here's one of his others, some of his other work. Exposure to conspiracy theories decreases intentions to engage in politics and to reduce one's carbon footprint. I don't know. Conspiracy theories as a subtle form of bias. Evidently, this guy has, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this guy has no idea. He is not psychology. His expertise is not psychology of conspiracy theories. It is not. Because he has no idea what conspiracy theories are. People can look on the internet and find out what conspiracy theories are, but he does not actually know what a conspiracy theory people believe. He doesn't know how they get their information. I guarantee you those weren't questions even asked. I guarantee it. I'll take you to his work. E-learning and digital media. Talks about 30% of blog. He's a blog writer. That's what he does. He's a blogger. He's a researcher with a blog. I'm telling you, this guy straight up attacked who people are. He straight up attacked anyone who believes in conspiracy theories. That's what he did. On a personal level at that. On a personal level. Whether somebody committed a crime or not is on a personal level. Telling a person who believes in conspiracy theories is telling a person that if they believe in a conspiracy theory, that they are going to commit a crime or they are criminals. That is a personal attack. A very personal attack. And his research is, it's no more than, I mean, you could amount it to the research or investigation that Shaggy and Scooby-Doo do on a cartoon to figure out if it's that old man. You know, he's a cartoon researcher. He's Scooby-Doo. That's what he is. That's all he is. So, as I said before, I'm not telling you all to physically harm anybody or anybody like that, but what I am telling you is to make yourself known and to make yourself known to him that you're not going to stand for what he's publishing or the research that he published. You're not going to stand for that because it's fake. It is fake. I guarantee it is fake. It's a setup, fake research. It's you can tell it is. It was deliberate. As you heard my wife say, they asked the question and then wanted the data to back it up. Yes, that's exactly what they did. Why Daily Mail or why the New York Post or the other 15, I don't know how many other publications it was put in. You'd like to think that he'd have all this stuff right here. You like to think that he would. I'm not racist, but they did it. Conspiracy theories as a subtle form of bias. What? And I'm going to tell you this about most doctors and about most researchers. They actually, when it comes to researching specific topics, they actually have zero training in or zero experience in anything that they are researching. I guarantee you he has zero, has zero knowledge on conspiracy theorists or the people who he actually probably didn't. It seems like he didn't. As a matter of fact, I know he doesn't even know the reason why people believe in conspiracy theories. People believe in conspiracy theories because they see things that don't seem right to them, or they hear things that don't seem right to them. That's exactly why people see that. That's exactly why people believe in conspiracy theories, and they try their best to prove them. But like I said, all of you all if you're a conspiracy theorist, and make yourself known to this guy, because this guy has straight up attacked you on a personal level. He's calling you a criminal. He's saying he guarantees that you committed a crime. He's seriously doing damage to your credibility right now. So I say do damage to his credibility. You know, you can tell this was a complete, and no, this don't have anything to do with the setup or a conspiracy at all. It's not a conspiracy. But the way it's worded, the way all of it's worded, the way he started the research, the way he did the research, the correlation between, there is zero correlation between crime and people who believe in conspiracy theories. Zero. That doesn't even matter. That's like asking, do you go to church? If you go to church, do you believe in conspiracy theories? Well, that might have some correlation. That might. So that's a bad example. I see you own a muffler shop. Does that mean you like conspiracy theories? Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And this one example, I keep going back over it, and that one example right there, that one example, including returning merchandise to a store when you're not entitled to do so. Are you kidding me? He is nothing more than he's a paid donkey. He was bought. Now he's pulling the cart. He's doing what he was told to do. He's doing what he's no. Researchers like him are no better than prostitutes. That's basically what he is. He's a prostitute for hire. He's a researcher for hire. All of his research will pan out. Why will it pan out? Because the question that they want asked, the questions they need asked, the research is going to be built around it. That's how it's easily faked. This research is nothing, it's fake. I'm not sure on why, who had him do this, who paid him to do it. It's just, to use the word, as I say again, to use the word like subscribe. I mean, come on, really? You don't know, when I see the word subscribe, what do you think? As a matter of fact, let's take a poll. Comment in the comment section. When you think of the word subscribe and conspiracy theories, what do you think about? I'm going to do my own poll research. If you read, if any of you all read any conspiracy theories, does it make you want to commit a crime? I know that's an odd question, but I'm going to ask it. When you read conspiracy theories, does it make you want to go take a big ass shit? Does it make you, when you read a story about JFK, does it make you just want to fling poop at somebody? Does it make you want to take an item back to Walmart that you don't need to be taken back? I mean, when you read when you read about aliens, does it make you just want to go buy, steal green shit? Do you want to go steal green stuff? It makes me want to, I'm just saying, it makes me want to go steal. And when I read stuff about aliens or see a UFO video, it makes me just want to go steal 15 boxes of aluminum foil. That's what I want to do. I want to go steal 15 boxes of aluminum foil, all because I don't want aliens to, And then I'm gonna make a hat out of each one, and then I'm gonna take them back to the Kroger store, and I'm gonna refund it, get the refund on it, all because of these conspiracy theories. And I need you all to share the living shit out of this video. I really do. I need you to share the living shit out of this video. I mean, the doctors and researchers who wrote this, it is freaking just horrible. It's fake as hell. This was a paid study, and it was a paid study on purpose. And it came out at the same time. There was a big clash with YouTube over changing their algorithms for conspiracy theories and truthers and preppers and anybody who believes that JFK was murdered I'm just saying. Do you all think that when you all think of UFOs, do you think of going and stealing, returning toothpaste so you can have $4? Seriously. Is that what makes you, is that what makes you do? Is that what conspiracies make you all feel like? I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, an 8-year-old could do better research. An 8-year-old. Chemtrails. All right, so chemtrails turned out to be true. Chemtrails turned out to be, it's not a conspiracy theory anymore. Several states do work with the federal government in weather modification. They do. It's been proven. The government come out and stated that they did. State governments in Montana. They manipulate the weather so they can get more rain. And how do they do it? They stick planes up in the clouds. They cloud seed. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. How many conspiracy theories do you know of have been proven true? How many? The guy who did this research did not even he didn't want to talk about the individual conspiracy theories. He wanted to directly know whether crime had anything to do with conspiracy theories. That's like trying to say that a popsicle has something to do with a pile of dog shit. One thing has absolutely nothing to do with the other. And that's where he messed up. And then the deliberateness of using the words they use, subscribe, low-level crime, immediately. A second study showed that those who were exposed to conspiracy theories during the experiment were immediately more accepting of low-level crime. Like, really? Come on. I'm done. I'm done. Not only that, so that comes out, and then it comes out that Facebook, there was a theory that that Facebook was blocking certain types of media. Turns out that was true. Turns out that was absolutely true. An employee of Facebook come out and said, "Hey, Facebook is actually blocking conservative views on Facebook." If you know, take for instance, Edward Snowden. You know, there's all these conspiracy theories. Edward Snowden worked for the FBI and the CIA and worked for the government. Turned around, stole a bunch of files and 30,000 plus files, released them to the public, and it turned out those conspiracy theories were true. You know, turns out it was. And the guy, that Dr. Daniel Jolly, in his article and his research, is not attacking whether anything we're seeing is true. He's attacking people who believe in conspiracy theories on a personal level. He's saying that they are bad people, and because they're bad people and because they're criminals, you shouldn't pay any attention to them. He's not researching on whether anything's what the people are legit, if it's legit or if it's fake or if it's made up. He's not researching that, or researching if anybody is mentally ill. He's researching on whether you'll commit a crime or not. How stupid is that? That's a personal attack on anybody who believes in any conspiracy theory whatsoever. Whether you believe aliens exist or not, that's a conspiracy theory. Whether there's UFOs coming to the United States or in the Earth, or whether there's you believe in Planet X or Nibiru, or whether you believe in chemtrails, whether why is it that every time a conspiracy theory comes out, that eventually it's debunked? Or not debunked, it's every time a conspiracy theory comes out, it's the government's debunked on it. It comes out to be true. Why is that? Now, does crime have anything to do with figuring out whether a conspiracy theory is true or not? Or believing in, what does crime have to do with believing in a conspiracy theory? Absolutely nothing. There's an article that I read. It said, destroying life-ending asteroids. Destroying life-ending asteroids headed for Earth will be tougher than we thought. Space rocks are stronger and harder to blow apart than previously believed, computer simulations suggest. Now, this is from scientists from Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore studied just how easy it would be to blow up a life-threatening space rock and found that they were stronger and more resilient than previously imagined. Now, how in the world could a computer ever know how strong a space rock, any space rock, or any asteroid is, especially a large one? How do you ever know? A lot of them are so dense or not so, they're so light, or they're just held together by a little and nothing. A lot of them are. Every composition of every asteroid is different. So how would you ever know if, how could you ever get the computer simulation to show you how or enter the data for how hard or dense that object is, or any object? I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but don't you think it's more possible that they tried it because they did develop lasers? They did develop lasers. They did try to blow it apart. As a matter of fact, they did. They tried to blow an asteroid apart with lasers. So did China. China did the same thing. You don't need a computer simulation to tell you something that everybody already knows. You know, there's been, over the last few years, there's been a lot, and I do mean a lot, of interest and increased interest in asteroids. Over the last 10 years, there's been a huge increase in interest in asteroids, the study of asteroids. There's been an increased interest in going to Mars. There's been a 1,000% increase in space launches over the last 3 years. 1,000%. It went from 2 to 3 a month to 10 plus a month. Over 115 launches every year for the last 3 years. Over 150. It's increased every year. Every year, the number of launches have increased. Even though NASA shut down its space shuttle program, they somehow ended up launching even more. Now, one of the questions I have is, in 2004, Bush 2 ended the space shuttle program because he said, and I quote, "It's too expensive. We can't maintain it." So he ended the space shuttle program. In that same speech he gave, a few lines later, he stated that he's demanding that NASA build new space vehicles for deep space travel. Now, does that make sense? To end the space shuttle missions because they're too expensive, then turn around and direct NASA to build a whole new fleet of space shuttles for deep space missions. Even though they don't have the money for the space shuttle missions, they now have money. They do have the money to build 6 new space vehicles. I mean, that don't make a bit of sense at all. And then not only that, 4 months prior to that, NASA reported that an asteroid is on a direct impact course with Earth, and would more than likely hit Earth in 2028 or 2026. So 4 months later, George Bush ends the program, and then in that same speech says he wants to put a base on Mars and start putting people on Mars. Now, as a conspiracy theorist myself, isn't it odd to say, hey, we can't afford the space shuttle program, but we need, first of all, there's an asteroid headed our way named Apophis, and it's one of those who is an extinction level event if it did hit. 4 months later, we can't afford the space shuttle program, and then in that same speech 10 seconds later say we need to build deep space vehicles. NASA is going to start building deep space vehicles. And on top of that, develop a Mars base and start sending people to Mars using those space vehicles. Isn't that odd? Now, what I'm not telling you is that scientists are telling us that Apophis is not going to hit the Earth. However, they continue to. After that, there was an increased interest in asteroids. There was an increased interest in Mars. There's an increased interest in making space vehicles. There's been an increased interest in allowing private companies to commercialize space. However, they haven't done so yet. The FCC still won't grant a private license to any space company for citizens to launch into space. And then, they haven't granted those licenses yet. But what they have granted is right now, the only missions that are going on right now are whatever the government allows those individual private companies to do. So right now, those private companies, all they are doing is launching for the government. SpaceX is launching for India, China, Russia, the United States government. That's all they're doing. Right as of right now, the FCC will not allow them to have a license to launch anybody into space. Now they had a Dragon space capsule launch that's for a crew, but it's for NASA crew. It's not for people. It's not for citizens. It's for NASA crew. It's for the International Space Station. They have yet to build an actual space vehicle for citizens. They haven't built it yet. So, knowing all that, and yes, it's a theory, but, the evidence and the increasing evidence that something may be up. There's good evidence that there's enough evidence to question that something may be up with that. Is there not? Now, as a researcher myself, or investigator, and yes, I'm good at investigating. Very good. As an investigator and a researcher myself into anything, how is that any different than saying that may be true versus the Big Bang being true? There's enough enough evidence to say the Big Bang true, but there's not enough evidence to say that something might not happen, or something with an asteroid could happen. An asteroid could hit the planet, and it may be this one, and they may be getting ready for it. And that's a conspiracy theory. However, the Big Bang is a theory, and it's being taught as fact. Yet people like me are criminals. I'm going to come to your house and rob you because I believe that JFK was shot was assassinated by our own government. I'm going to rob your house because I believe that. And I'm telling all of you, you all need to share this video as much as possible. So I appreciate y'all listening. I appreciate everybody who watches it. Leave a comment. And like I said, I'm not saying to go cuss this guy out, but I'm saying give him a piece of your mind, because he's telling anybody who believes in a conspiracy theory, he's telling you that you're a criminal. That's what his research has shown him. His rigged research has shown him, so he's going to believe it himself. That's why he did the research. Just saying. He was. He's not a good person. The guy's not a good person. So, anyway, it looks like I've ran a little long here. Maybe hour and 58 minutes. It's almost 2 hours. You know, just understand that what that guy wrote is just, he's no better than the government trying to say that we're, you know, conspiracy theorists are all crazy. And, you know, conspiracy theories and people who believe them do nothing but research the topics that they believe may be true. You know, that's what they do. So, anyway, it's been a long video, and I just wanted to do this one because that one absolutely pissed me off. So, leave your comments and what you think in the video in the comment section. Get people to subscribe. I like subscribers. I like comments too. Nobody hardly comments. I'll talk to you. I'll talk back. But I will tell you this. A lot of people are leaving bad comments and saying bad shit and calling people, you know, they want to call you names, call you retarded, call you crazy. You know, I'm going to delete those comments. I mean, come on. You know, it's my channel. I have a right to have what I want on this channel. I care about everybody's opinion, but if your opinion's going to be you're fucking retarded, you're fucking stupid, you're ignorant, you need to go back to school, you need an education, you need to do this, you need to do that. Come on, dude. You know, grow up. You know, I'm not gonna allow that in my comments. I'm not gonna allow that on the channel. Because we don't need people like that. You know, if my channel gets bigger, I don't need that crap on, you know, on my live chat. That actually hurts my channel for people being mean to each other, especially in the comments. YouTube is getting strict about what people are saying to each other in the comment section. People are being racist. People are being discriminate against others. They're talking mean and cussing each other out. You know, you can't do that. And then that comes back on me because your comments can actually negatively impact the channel. It can cause me not to live feed. It can cause them to shut the channel down. It can cause any of that. Now, conspiracy theory channels and truther channels are hanging by a thread right now. So, but like I said, I wish everybody the best. Like, comment, subscribe. Psychologist TV is out.